You know, these days it seems like everyone is talking about moving or relocating here to the Phoenix area. And in this video, we're gonna get into the details of the real cost of living here in the Phoenix metropolitan area from the perspective of just your everyday person or family who's exploring moving or relocating to the area. And we're gonna get into that right now. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is David Van Assche with the Living in the Phoenix East Valley team. And if this is your first time to this channel and you want to learn everything about what it's like to eat, sleep, live, work, and play here in the greater Phoenix metropolitan area, make sure you click that subscribe button and tap the bell to get notified every time I put out a new video. And honestly, we get so many phone calls, emails, text messages every single day from people looking to move and relocate here. We absolutely love it. So if you're even thinking about moving or relocating here to the Phoenix metropolitan area, make sure you pick up the phone and call us, send us an email, shoot us a text message. Days, nights, weekends, we've got your back when moving to Phoenix, Arizona. All right, guys, so the cost of living here in the Phoenix metropolitan area, I'm just gonna go across the board. So a score of 100 represents basically the national average. So here in the Phoenix metropolitan area, we score 106.7. That means that overall for the average family budget, if you will, for the most people, it's gonna be about 106% of the national average for cost of living. Now that we know that on average it's more expensive to live in the Phoenix area compared to the national average, we're going to break it down category by category. There are some categories that are definitely under the national average, which we'll get into here in a minute. Yeah, so one of the things that surprised me when I got into this research, and actually from personal experience, when I moved here from North Dakota, one of the first things I noticed is that going to the grocery stores or even going out to eat, significantly less expensive. In fact, here in the Phoenix metro, we're at 96.1. So we're significantly below average compared to the national average for your grocery bill. Now, of course, if you're into all organic groceries, we have stores like Sprout, or Whole Foods, which has a lot of that, and you could definitely spend well above the national average if you choose to. There's every type of grocery store that you could imagine here, from your lowest budget grocery store all the way to your finest, all organic, labels that most people have never heard of, all the best stuff. It's here if you want that. But just so you know, on average, our food costs here are actually significantly less. One thing you can do additionally, it's a lot of fun, especially if you have time on Saturdays. A lot of the towns around here, cities, they have Saturday farmers markets where they bring all the fresh produce and vegetables in. Sometimes it's not even washed yet, it still has the dirt on it, things like that. So you can get, pretty good deals there where you can buy the fresh vegetables and bring them home, wash them, skin them, do all the things that you want to do, and you get the freshest product at the best price. All right, so the next category that's significantly below average, healthcare. We're at 97.3, and basically what that means, the average cost of healthcare in this area is going to be less than the national average. I know coming from North Dakota, which is a lot of rural medicine, it's very challenging for most hospitals and clinics to get specialists and doctors to move to the area, nurses as well. And so they have to pay a lot more to get people to move to those rural areas that are typically less desirable to live in for a lot of folks. So they end up paying more, which means they pass a lot higher costs on to the consumer. Here in the Phoenix metro, there's like 8 different major hospital systems, not including just dozens, if not hundreds of different clinics and dental offices and just everything you could imagine. So long story short, lots of competition, lower prices, plus the quality of it too. I have not been to one clinic or doctor's office, that I wasn't impressed with as far as the staff and the way they treated people and the facilities and the cleanliness and everything else like that. Guaranteed, if you look hard enough, you can find one, but they're probably not going to stay in business very long with the level of competition that they experience here in the area. All right, housing, obviously very important. Everybody needs somewhere to live. Housing scores 119.7. It's definitely significantly above average for your average cost of living. However, you want to keep in mind the listing price or the sale price of homes doesn't tell the whole story. One thing that is easy to overlook or miss is the fact that property taxes in our area compared to other areas such as Southern California or the Seattle area where a lot of people move here from, property taxes are extremely low here. Not to mention as well that once your home value is locked in at a certain price, like when it was built, every year, even though the actual property values might be skyrocketing, the amount of tax that you pay is based on your taxable value, which is calculated basically at a few percent per year. So my house in particular is built 27 years ago. It's probably worth, if I sold it today, it's probably worth $750,000, something like that. However, as far as the amount I'm paying tax on, it's like a $380,000 house. So every year my taxable base goes up a small amount, but I'm not paying taxes on a $700,000 house. I'm paying taxes on a $380,000 house the way that it's structured here, which definitely saves a lot of money. Also, what's nice about it, especially for people who are, looking at retiring, once you buy your home, even if property values continue to soar and double or triple in the next 10, 15 years, something like that, your property tax bill is going to remain manageable just because the base value of the home that it's taxed on incrementally increase. It doesn't go up with the actual price of the house. You know, I think that's a good, fair thing for a lot of people, and nobody likes to pay taxes, but that one actually kind of makes sense. And as we're talking about housing, the median home price throughout the entire Phoenix metro, which is actually 17 different cities, is $449,000, and you can compare that to the national average of $367,500. So prices of homes here are significantly higher, but that said, there's typically a home for just about every budget available. I mean, if you're on the lower end of the budget scale and you're just getting life started and you're, you know, kind of getting your career going, you might not be able to get the large single family home that you're looking for, but there's, you know, townhomes and condos that are in great locations that are affordable. It allows people to get their foot in the door. If you're new to the area, you've been around the block a few times and this is your second or third or fourth home purchase, yeah, there's some really great neighborhoods. You know, the 6, 7, 800,000 range gets you a really decent home. If you want to go into the luxury market, compared to like Seattle or Southern California, luxury homes are basically a huge discount here. I mean, for 1.2 million, you're getting a really nice home on a full acre with a pool and multiple bedrooms and square footage and 3 to 4 car garage. There's definitely a lot of options depending on which area you're looking in. For example, you know, if you're comparing Scottsdale to say Chandler, obviously Scottsdale is going to be about twice the price of a luxury home out in Chandler or Gilbert. Give us a call. We can talk to you more about that. All right, utilities, 102.7, 100 being the national average. So yeah, our utility costs are slightly above average. However, I think it's actually below average. The difference being that living here, we actually consume a lot more electricity and water than most households. Like if you live in the Seattle area, you're not irrigating and watering your lawn, plants outside. Nature does that. It rains all the time. But here, you know, if you have any type of bushes or cacti or a swimming pool, things like that, water is continuously being used and consumed. So you're going to see a lot more gallons flowing through the average household's meter, especially if you have you know, outdoor landscaping, as compared to a lot of other areas in the country where you can mostly get by with nature providing the rain. You use more water, but the electricity side of things, the actual price per kilowatt hour is actually significantly less than national average. But so my home, about 2,600 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Electricity wise, especially in the summer, we have 2 enormous air conditioning units because look, if it's 105 and 108 every day, those random extreme days where it can hit, you know, 110, 112, everyone loves to talk about those days, but that's not normal. I think a normal temperature is like, yeah, a little over 100 degrees, but you're indoors, you know, you got air conditioning, it's dry. It's a dry heat. I mean, that's real. I know people talk about it and joke, make jokes, but reality is dry heat is not as intense, especially when you're in your car or you're in your house or you're in your office most of the time. But that said, as far as above average utility costs, running those AC units in the summer definitely takes a lot more electricity, so you consume a lot more kilowatt hours on average. So there you go. We're basically almost at par with the national average on utility costs. All right, so next up, transportation costs. That scores 107. The cost of getting around with your car in this area is above the national average, I guess significantly so. One thing to keep in mind though is those higher than average registration fees and our higher than average gas taxes. The roads and bridges and the infrastructure, especially here in the Phoenix metropolitan area, are top of the line. You drive around, it's hard to find a pothole. The bridges are all new, nice, being expanded as people continue to move here. Our infrastructure is definitely there. So again, nobody likes to pay taxes. At least we can look around and physically see where the money is going, and it's going into a lot of good places. We have great roads, great sidewalks, just great infrastructure everywhere you look. Higher than average costs for driving around, but you get what you pay for, right? All right, so last but not least, we're just gonna have a miscellaneous category, you know, just random household expenses, things that people spend on. That score is way low, 93.7. So if you're somebody who wants to hire a pool cleaning company, or, you know, you wanna have somebody come in and clean your home every couple of weeks and, you know, scrub the toilets and just do all the deep cleaning and mopping and things like that. You know, pest control services, there's dozens of pest control companies in the area to keep the critters away, which they do a great job. You know, every 60 days or so they come to my house. I think it's $40 a month, so $80 every time they come by for a treatment. I have to double check that, but that just kind of gives you an idea. But anyway, long story short, to hire somebody to come around and take care of a lot of these things, as compared to my aunt who lives in Snohomish County up in Washington State, she looked at having a pool service come and it was just cost prohibitive. You can't, it doesn't make sense. So you do it, you know, a lot of that stuff yourself. But here in the Phoenix area, there's so much competition. There's so many vendors that really good prices on having a lot of those everyday necessary services taken care of for you, you know, at relatively low costs compared to a lot of other areas here in the US. Now, as far as another thing, miscellaneous, kind of a side note here, not necessarily a national average thing, state income tax. Arizona does have a state income tax, and depends obviously on how much your taxable income is every year, but it ranges from like 2 to 3.5%. Now you can compare that to like 13 13% in California or some other extremely high number in New York or Illinois. So if you're moving here, maybe you have a home-based business, something like that, that's something that definitely can play into your overall cost of living and how you want to calculate that. The amount of money you're spending on state income taxes, depending on your personal situation, could be extremely low compared to what you're used to. So that's a really big savings that offsets these higher than average home prices that we're seeing here. So guys, obviously overall, out of the 17 cities in the Phoenix Metro, there's a lot of variation and differences between them, but we're talking the Phoenix Metro as a whole. If you want more information about a specific area, whether you're talking about Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, Queen Creek, Scottsdale, give us a call, shoot us an email, send us a text message. We'll get right on it and get you some good information that makes sense for you and your situation. And on that note, if you are considering making a move here, give us a little bit of idea about the things that you like, some things that you don't like, kind of lifestyle you're looking to live, things you like to do, and ultimately what you want to live close to. We're gonna know instantly the best spots to lead you to and show you so you can research further what is gonna be an ideal fit for you. But look, the only way we're gonna do this, you gotta pick up the phone, you gotta give us a call, you have to shoot us an email or send us a text. Days, nights, weekends, we've got your back when moving here to Phoenix, Arizona. And until the next video, guys, we'll catch you later.